You're live. Well, let's find out if I'm live, shall we? Let us see if I am live. Oh dear. So, I wasn't going to do this tonight, to be honest, but I'm just sitting here, and I'm doing stuff, so I thought I'd just turn it on. You know, I'm having a cup of coffee. Not tea tonight, I'm having a cup of coffee. So, yeah, not planned at all. I just thought, I'm sitting down, I'm at my desk. See, this is what it looks like usually. This is all this stuff that's just hanging around. This is what it normally looks like. I tidy it up when I plan things. But I wasn't going to plan it anyway, so nice cup of coffee. It's good. It is good. Out the coffee machine. A caramel latte. That's what's needed. So I'm probably going to move this out of the way because I certainly don't need it at the moment. And I've been messing around with these all day. These wild things. Like copper clips, look. I've just been screwing them down to these things because I'm trying to do some tests on some batteries, and I'd planned it a while ago, and I'd probably showed some of you in a few live streams ago these power resistors, and I bought this heatsink, and I was going to and I have done today, this is what I plan to do, screw them all to this heatsink and actually do some tests on a pair of 18650s. I wanted to do some tests on the nickel strip that I'm using for the e-bike battery. That's what I wanted to do. And I haven't done anything with the e-bike battery since the last stream because I ran out of the nickel strip, the roll that I bought. And although this seems like genuine nickel and everything, it just seems a bit flimsy to me compared to the other stuff I had, so I'm not overly keen. I think I'm just going to try for once to be patient and wait. I've ordered some more of the original stuff that I got from the other guy on eBay, and I've ordered some of that, and I'm just going to wait for it instead of using this stuff. I'm just going to use this as backup stuff for other little bits and pieces. But that's what I was planning on doing anyway. Doing some current tests on nickel strip was my plan. So I've got this rigged. I bought these, I did the calculations, and I've got this rigged to do a 30 amp pull through two 18650s. Two of these like this. So two of these batteries, which would be, 7.4 volts nominal in series. So 7.4 volt. And then have them connected to this through this big crazy nice switch, which doesn't need to be that big, but it's just the one I've got. So, and it's cool because it's got like 200 amp sort of or something, so it's quite hefty, so I can use that. But yeah, the idea is to do some tests like that and literally do some probably not that long obviously, but yeah, fold that over. It won't be in two when I do it obviously as well. But some short pieces like that, and do some ampage pull tests on them. Because my controller for my e-bike is a 30 amp maximum. These aren't going to get anywhere near that when there's like 6 of them per series connection on my battery. But I thought if I could do a 30 amp draw, these are rated for 25 amps, and any fuse that you've got that's rated for like say 25 amps in this case is probably going to be rated a decent percentage above that. So it's probably rated at 25, but it's not going to blow until like maybe 30, 35 or something. I think there's a percentage that people have mentioned to me, it's this percentage over usually. I haven't paid much attention to it, but it's definitely a percentage over what they're rated for. And the guy who I bought the strip off said 25 amps. So if I can do a 30 amp pull test, and I know I think these are 30 Qs. I'm not sure what the. I think I might. It's been that long since I planned it. I'm not too sure, but I think I think these are. I can't remember what these are. These are 30 Qs, Samsung 30 Qs. I don't know whether they are 30 amp on the maximum discharge current. I don't know whether that's what the 30 Q means or not. I'm not sure. I don't want to quote that because I'm not sure that's what it is. But anyway, you know, I've got these sitting around. I'm not using them for anything else. So if I do, even if they're only rated at 20 amps and I do a 30 amp pull for like 10, 15, 20 seconds or something, then it's, you know, it may degrade the life of the battery, which I don't really care about anyway. So, because I'm not using them for anything in particular. But that's what all this mess is on here. I've been just crimping cables and putting these clips on, which is quite handy actually. Just screw terminals, so they're just screwed in, and I can just take them off and just use the actual. They're just screwed. So I've terminated a ring terminal, and then they're just screwed on. They're quite nice actually, and I've got a rating on them as well. I think I bought them from Farnell, the electrical company. They're like 40 amps, these ones, and then this bigger one, which is a bit more of a bit of a big crocodile style clip. That is rated at 75 amps. So I bought like a bunch of these. I think I bought 5 of the smaller 40 amp ones, or 45. Did I say 40 amp? Yeah, 40 amp. And I also bought 2 of the big 75 amp ones. Just to literally for this, I bought them because of the amp rating and this nice flat pinching sort of clip on the end that can just hold that nickel strip quite nicely with a good contact. And it's just the right width for it as well, so I can get. It's not going to be a perfect test, but I'm just testing that, you know, this stuff that I'm sticking the battery together with is worthy of what I'm doing basically. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing today, just messing around with that. That's about it really. I know I popped over to see my sister and my brother-in-law a couple of days ago now, I think it was. And my brother-in-law watched my infamous Makita battery stream where I just completely destroyed my drill. But you may not know that actually, but yeah, I did destroy my drill. I'll get to that in a minute anyway. Yeah, I popped over and he was just. We'd chatted before about making a like a vape mod, because I've got a 3D resin printer, 3D resin printer, and I reckon I use Fusion 360, Autodesk Fusion 360, and I reckon I could make quite a nice vape mod in Fusion 360, and it wouldn't look great on an FDM printer, which is your standard printer that just runs around, and you know, it's like the 3D printer that everyone's seen that's got the roller filament on and squeeze it out. Whereas the resin one is it's a liquid resin that is cured by UV basically, and it's just a much smoother finish. It's a nicer finish, and to do something like this, it would be really nice for. So we had a conversation about it a long time ago, and I kept saying like, oh, I'll put together a mod and I'll buy a board and stuff, because you can just buy the boards for these, and just install them into your mods. There's nothing to them really, from what I've seen of them, which is not a lot, but yeah. So he gave me this and said, oh, you can pull that apart and stuff. So I'm going to pull this apart, and I'm probably going to use the board. I'm going to use the, what do you call this? I don't know what you call this. It's the bit that holds the tank on top, where you put the fluid and stuff. I don't know what you call it, but that's the bit that holds the tank on top. And then there's the battery holder inside. This is a series mod, if you call it that. Apologies to the vaping world if I've got that completely wrong, because I'm not part of the vaping world, so I don't really know. But yeah, it's just two 18650s in series, which means it's like a 7.4 volt nominal sort of system. Yeah, so I was just gonna sit here and pull this apart, as I've mentioned. Yeah, so like I say, I was just gonna turn the stream on and do it anyway, and pull this apart, and yeah, that's about it really. That's what I've been doing today. This is what I'm about to do now. I'm also, and I'll get round to it now, I'm also probably going to take this apart, because those of you who watched the last live stream where I built an 18 volt Makita battery, and I managed to, yeah, I was saying like, oh, I don't know what's happened, and I'll have to have a look at it and all that sort of stuff, and I figured it out quite quickly. In fact, I figured out what happened pretty much half an hour after the stream finished. I thought I'm going to take it apart and just have a look at it, see what's going on with it, see what's failed and what hasn't, and all that sort of stuff. And it was just like, it melted one of the contacts, and the board was like, had a couple of components burnt out on it. That was about it really. Everything else seemed, all the batteries seemed intact and stuff, which is actually surprising when I explain what happened. But as with me, and as is usually is, I'm quite impatient. So I didn't really concentrate hard enough when I was looking at the battery. I got the old battery and I was basing it on that, and I was going, oh, okay, yeah, this and this and this, and okay, yeah, we'll just do this. And it's all simple, but this is simple as well. But what I did was I put the batteries in completely the wrong polarity. That's what happened. So instead of the minus and the plus was the minus and the minus was the plus. So I just ran it in reverse polarity. Obviously the charger doesn't care. It's just like, yeah, your battery's gone reverse polarity, it's knackered, so I can't charge it. So that's fine. But when I stuck it in the drill, I think the drill just, I don't know what's happened to it. We're definitely going to find out in a minute. But I think, and this is a complete guess, because like I say, I fixed that drill about 2 weeks ago or something. I put a new motor in it. My guess is that it's probably just like the brushes inside the motor are probably just like, I don't know, God, it's just welded solid probably. It's just gone into a big mess, and like, yeah. Hello Dale, how you doing? Yeah. So yeah, it's probably just a big mess in there, and I've probably burnt the motor I bought like 2 weeks ago. But it's not the end of the world. The motor was like 15 quid. So I'll just buy another one and put it in, yeah, basically. In fact, like yeah, so I'll buy another one and put it in, and I'll have something else to do on stream, which is great. Anyway, I'm going to put this on the floor, and I'm going to try not to step on it when I stand up, as I ultimately will, because I do it every single time I stream. I go run across the room looking for something. Like, oh, pick this up. Oh, what about that? Oh, I'll show you this. I was also going to just chat about stuff that I'm doing. And I'm going to start pulling this apart. Yeah, stuff that I'm kind of got in my... I was chatting the other day to some guys I work with, just saying like I've got a whole queue of stuff waiting to be done, which has been in this room forever. And now is the best time to actually get into it, but I haven't... I've been doing stuff. But my queue is actually finally getting worked on, which has not really happened before, so that's all good. So I'm starting to get through the ream. I just tend to have these crazy ideas of things I'm going to build and stuff, and yeah, I just never get round to finish them. I just half start things and never flipping finish them, because I end up working like basically 10 months of the year flat out, like in and out of the country, no days off, so I just rarely get time to actually sit here and do this sort of stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to let my coffee go cold, I'm going to drink it. Ooh, caramel latte. Now, a good idea is to have a little screw pot when you're doing this, but I don't have anything handy. I've got my soldering mat over there, which has got loads of screw compartments, and I should have brought it over here, because I'm probably going to have to desolder something as I get into this, I'm guessing. But we'll see. Yeah, so... vape mods. Yeah, I reckon I could build a really nice one, to be honest. I reckon I could build a really nice one. And I had a quick chat with my brother-in-law about the configuration and stuff. Because if I build it, I mean, obviously, I'll probably just give it to him, like, so. It's just it'd be nice to be able to build one and say, oh yeah, I know how that goes together. I built one of them before. I'll just build another one if I want to build one. It's good. Incidentally, I have ordered a replacement. I thought, let's have a look at this inside. I don't know if you can see this anyway, but there's the board. 2 connections on the bottom, soldered to the board, and there's a tiny little wire. There's 3 wires. There's the positive, the negative, and just inside, you probably can't see it, there's a tiny little red wire. You probably just about see it there on the camera because this camera is garbage. And that's the balance wire for the series connection. I'm guessing. Yeah, it is. Make sure that the cells are charged to the same level, basically. I'm wondering, where am I going to desolder that from? I don't think I want to desolder it from this container, because they look like pots that are hollow and the cable's gone in and a big lump of solder's in there. So I'm not going to desolder there. I'm going to try and desolder from the board, which is going to be difficult because it's going to be difficult because it's just getting in there. Although he's said to me that he's not bothered about this case or anything. I'm going to take this Kapton tape off and give me some more slack, hopefully, off this balance wire, because I don't want to rip that apart. Oh, it's glued. Okay, so I can't do that. It's got to stay taut. Okay, that's fine. Let's have a go at it. It's not the end of the world if I tap the case with the soldering iron anyway, because I'm not keeping it, so. Soldering iron is not plugged in. Needs plugging in. Boom. Go soldering iron. No, didn't plug the soldering iron. Plug something else in. Now I'll plug the soldering iron in. I got these the other day as well, which I had these on order. So look at these. Because I've got all those broken Makita batteries. I ordered these boards from China to try and replace the boards that are in the ones that are there already. And you know, I'm no electronics whiz, but these look crap to me because I don't see the balance wires for them. Oh, actually, is that the balance? That's the balance wire. Hang on, let's use the part of the neg. No, because it's no. Yeah, I was right the first time. Yeah, there's no balance wires because you've got 5 batteries in the series in a drill battery, in a Makita battery at least anyway, and there should be balance wires for each of the positive points to make sure that the each series bank is charged to the same level, and there are none of those connections on here, so I don't understand really why there's not those connections on here. And to put that board on with no balance connections, you're kind of just asking for trouble. It'll probably work, and it'll probably work for a time, but over time you're the parallel banks will just go out of balance, and then, you know, it's just not good. It's not good. It's not. They're just crap. I mean, they were like £5 each, I think. I bought 4 of them to try and fix some of the batteries, but I'm not going to use them because they do look dodgy as hell. So I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to bother. Oh, I need some water on that, don't I? I always manage to do this. Forget to put something. Let's put a dab of water on. See if we can get that to soak in. Yeah, so I'm going to wait for the other... I've put too much water in there now. Oh no, it's not too bad. No, it's not the end of the world. Shouldn't be too damp, your soldering sponge. I don't know why, to be honest, but that's what people say. Shouldn't be too much water on it. God knows. Someone will tell me someday. Hopefully someone who's watching this will tell me. Tell me, come on. Tell me. Give me the answer. Scratch all that crap off it. That's good. Yeah, so not using those boards. I'm gonna wait for the other one to come, and I'm gonna just try and I'm gonna have my second crack at that Makita battery now I know what I did. Now I know what I did wrong. I'll have another look. You gotta keep trying. Can't give up. Don't let it beat you. Can't let it beat you. Should be sometimes this is fiddly because you have to like use some tweezers to pull the wire away from the board as well, but this looks like it might not be too bad because it's pressing the button on the bottom. This might not be too bad because saying that, you know what, I'm struggling here. Why am I struggling when I should just take the whole board and the piece out and then do that after? That's what I'm going to do. Let's take the... I'm gonna be lacking a name for this this piece at the top that holds the tank on top of here. What's it called? I don't know what it's called. I have no idea what it's called. I'm just going to accept that I don't know what it's called and probably won't know what it's called until I finish streaming and look at it. In fact, I've got my browser open here. Let me have a look what it's called. I'm interested now. Like that. I get stuff. You know, and if stuff like that troubles me, don't know what it's called, I'm just like, I've got to have a look. Have a search. It's a difficult thing, isn't it? Trying to search for something you don't know the name of. Jeez. Are you 18 or over? Well over. Oh, I'm just on a vaping website, but it's not a coil. I don't think it's a tank. I don't know. You tell me. I have no idea what it's called. You tell me. Right, that's loose, so that's good. Let's swap over to the crosshead. Take them out of there. I wish you could actually see what I was doing. Might be more interesting, but I've got a Tosh webcam, so balls. It is what it is. What are you gonna do? Just gonna have to deal with it. I can't even see the screw myself. I've got it right in front of my hand. Right in front of my hand. Right in front of your face, you mean? You silly plonker. Fall apart. Go on. Oh, buttons have come out. Batteries have come out. Stuff's falling everywhere. There we go. Okay, now it's apart. There's one screw that doesn't want to give up. One screw that's holding on for dear life. And it's just been I got him. Okay, so there's 2 connections to that tank, and again, I don't want to take them off this part because I'm not exactly sure how that connects in there, so I'm going to try my best to take them off the board because I feel that's just easier for me. Let's try and take these ones first. Where do they go? Oh no, they are just pads on the top. Oh, see, I thought that these went through the board and that's why I was having a problem getting them off, but that's not the case. They are just sitting on top, it's just that I need a bit more heat probably. I'm going to get my tweezers on the ready in case I need to pull, because these cables get hot when you're doing this. I want to try and be as quick as possible when you're trying to get stuff off. Here we go, look. What did I say the other night? Blue tack. Blue tack is your friend. There you go. Blue tack there. Stick that case on there so when I pull this, it doesn't move, look. Gotta have blue tack to the ready. It's going to change your life. Blue tack will change the way you do things. Come on then. The solder's softening up on the outside, but I'm not doing anything on the inside. So what I'm going to do, pop a touch of flux on it. I've got this flux, which I use on boards and stuff. I just saw it on some guy's video, flux type RMA 218. Saw it on some guy's video. He was doing a lot of like circuit board stuff and he was using this. Does the job, it's good. I need something to squeeze it on with. I'm going to dab it on. Not with a bit of solder, but with a little cotton bud. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dab it on with a bit of cotton bud there. Give it a big blob of flux on it. See if we can get that solder flowing again. Alright, let's have a go at that. Bloody hell, does not want to give up that. Really doesn't. I'm tempted. I am tempted to chop that and try and get it off after, if I'm honest. What shall we do? I'm going to snip it. I'm going to snip it. And I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to clean it up after because it's going to be easier. Make sure you don't snip anything else off the board. Loads of little components there. Don't snip a resistor off as well or something silly like that. It's going to make you really upset. Like, really, really upset. Right, I'm going to bring over my little holder. It's going to be much easier because I'm starting to struggle a bit holding onto it. This is why I should keep my station tighter. Because stuff like that happens and screws go everywhere. Oh my word. It's fine, it's okay, don't worry. Still got all the screws in this open-ended dish, which is actually the case to the mod. This is good. This is a good thing. If you solder, right, and you do like little boards and stuff like that, get yourself one of these, magnetic, with crocodile clips and bendy arms. Hold stuff anywhere, here, there, everywhere. And then it's got these things on it, little points. And you can put them out like that and the circuit boards that you usually get with like the holes in the corners and stuff, where the screw holes and the mounts go, you just rest it on there and you can work on the board like that. And they move into different shapes and stuff. If you've got a weird circuit board, it's good. They're well handy. A good purchase, one of these. Get yourself one. Well, if you need it, don't just go out and buy one just because, like, you know, I've told you to. Don't just go out and buy one. Find a use for it, you know. Let's make sure I'm not clipping onto anything important on the back there. In fact, if I can do both ends, it's going to be even better. That needs to come off there, doesn't it, really? It's not the end of the world, it's going to be alright at the minute. So we'll shuffle that in a bit closer. Get that in there. There we go. It's holding on. It's holding on to my work for me. That's what I need. Another pair of hands, which is what this is. That's the thing with this. You need to... I'm not sure if this one's going to come easier. You really have got to be careful. You don't want to touch any of the little components on the board with this hot iron, because they will just... These cables are a nightmare to get unsoldered, but you touch a little component with this iron and I guarantee it'll just slide off the board really easy, because that's just the way it goes. Let's try and get the balance wire off, because that looks like it's... There we go, that pops off real easy. I like that. It's that big lump of solder around the other side that's doing your head in. Let's go this way. Got anything on that side? Nothing right next to that part there. Nothing next to that part there. So let's grab hold of that. I'm always reluctant to, like, people say like, oh, put a dab of solder on it just to get it flowing again. I'm just reluctant to do that, because I just end up, with my soldering ability, I end up with just lumps of solder everywhere. It's not good. Usually, if I can get a bit of flux on there and just get the solder reflowing, it does come away quite easy most of the time. It's not having it today though, I'll tell you that much. Close proximity to my hand with the iron, because I'm trying not to cover what I'm doing at the same time. No, I'm just going to snip it. I'm going to snip it. I just got to be careful. Don't want to cut the pad off as well. If there's a pad underneath there, you can just leave a bit of solder on there, that's fine. There we go. There is the battery compartment. That's the little, tiny little balance lead I was talking about. There's the red and the black. And there we go. So, let us see. What's that? Oh, cover for the screen. A piece of plastic to cover the LCD on the front. Yeah. Again, it's just awkward with this case stuck on it. Gotta be careful where I'm putting crocodile clips. I don't want to bash anything off, any of the components. It's just awkward as hell getting in there with this iron. Let's just see if that flows quite easily or not. Or not, he says. That's the thing with when you start to get solder reflowing after it's been soldered in a factory like this stuff as well. I find that you get one pop at it and it just becomes harder and harder to turn into a liquid again. If you miss your first shot of getting it reflowing and getting the cable away from it, you kind of screw yourself over, because it just seems to get more and more difficult to get it flowing again. That got it. Now the thing is, I can just use this as a pull on that to get that away from there, hopefully. Don't want to go from that angle. My fingers are too close there. There we go. Nice. That one came off clean. That one came off really clean. Let's have a look at the board. Hang on a sec. Let's check it out. I've got cables and stuff all over the place here. Hang on a sec. Where's that? Okay, it's here. Microscoping. There we go. So that's the positive I just took off. That's the negative I just took off. That's the one that I sliced as well. So that actually just looks like it's got a blow of solder. I think that's all my flux that's on it from previous. So that just needs cleaning up, but nothing's burnt or mashed or anything, so that's fine. That's just a big lump with the cable left in it from the other positive and negative. See there, just that one there. Right next to that screw is the terminal. But it seems alright. It looks cool. Nothing's happened to the board, it's all good. Flip it over. He said there was some water damage on this screen, which I have seen, and I put a couple of batteries in it earlier. That's the on button and that's the menu buttons there. Yes. Interesting. Okay. Little micro USB charge port on it as well. As with most of these things, I've just got a micro USB charge port on. I think all the vape stuff has, in fact. Okay, I'm not too fussed about cleaning that up at the moment. I just wanted to pull it apart, which I've done, because now I've got it in pieces. I can just spend some time, not that I'm going to do it now, but spend some time kind of just measuring it out and checking out sizes and get a little drawing done of it, and get it into Fusion 360, which is my 3D design software, and just get it in there. And first things first, probably get some sort of either mount for the board and battery lineup, because the way it's going to go, the way this was, is they sat like that. Let's move this because I'm done with it. Let's not put that on the floor because I'll stab my feet on the flipping parts of it. Yeah, so it was back to back like that inside this mod. That was the configuration. It sat like this, batteries on the back, screen on the front. That's the way it was inside there. The way I spoke to my brother-in-law, the way we kind of discussed doing something was like this. So it'd be end on. So it's in the hand like that, basically. That's how it would be. So I'll work on getting that mounted, and there'll be a piece in between these two, I'm guessing. So I'll need to extend these cables round, will I? Let's have a look. Oh no, because it's on the back of the board as well, aren't they? So that will actually work, because these will come back to here in some way. Two cables will come to the back of that. And then Just have to sort out the this as well. I might take the cables off this now I've got it out so I can see what's going on with it. Worst comes to worst, I can I know I can definitely order these again anyway, and they're pretty cheap. They're not expensive. So, what is your plans? My plans with what? B&B. My plans with this mod. Yeah, my plan is literally that. It's just to redesign a case, not in this configuration, which is basically back-to-back battery to screen. I'm not going to design it like that. I'm going to design it lengthways. So it's going to sit in a configuration like that. So it's more of a long shape in the hand when you hold it. It's more of a, you're more holding it like that, and the two batteries here, and then the screen at this end, or the other way around, the screen at that end, so you can click it if you need to. I don't know whether you need to click this while it's in your hand. If you do need to click this while it's in your hand, then it's probably best that it's at this end, and you can get to the button and stuff. I don't know whether you need to see the screen or what, or something I can have a chat about. But yeah, that'll sit like that with the whatever that's called, the tank holder right on that end, basically. So it'll be that configuration. That is my plan with it. And I've got an Elegoo Mars. I don't know if anyone's seen one. I've got an Elegoo Mars, which is like a liquid resin 3D printer, and the prints are really nice. They're quite smooth finish and everything. It's unlike your normal FDM printer where you get the lines in it and stuff, and it's not as smooth. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna design something probably tomorrow. Actually, I'll have a look at it. I haven't done anything with I don't know what they call it in. I used to call it subdivision surfaces, which means in 3D you've got a subdivision surface. Just means subdivided. It just means smooth, basically, so you can get nice rounded shapes on it. And I've not done anything like that in Autodesk 360. So at the same time as making something, it will be a nice lesson for me, and it'll be a nice opportunity to learn some new skills, which I always like doing, especially because I haven't used that program for a long time, and that's why I like making stuff in it, because every time I come up against something, it's like, oh, I'll go and watch a tutorial, and it's like, oh, okay, I know that now, and then you just crack on, and you've got it for next time, It's the way I've always learnt 3D software. I started out doing some bits and pieces on 3ds Max, then I moved to Autodesk Maya. I've used Cinema 4D. Yeah, never used any AutoCAD stuff, so this whole design thing with real world sizes and stuff is kind of new, but not completely new to me. I did do some of that stuff when doing simulations in 3D. You use real world sizes to try and get it right, but yeah, nothing that's actual modelling for real world use, if you know what I mean, to be made. So yeah, it'd be interesting anyway. So that's all I was going to do. I was just going to pull that apart. I'm going to have a look at this drill, because I want to see just how badly I've knackered it by sticking a reverse polarity battery into it and melting something, which it feels like is what's happened. So let's find out. Like I say, I fixed this not 2 weeks ago. First time I'd ever opened one of these up, and they're not difficult. They're quite easy, to be honest. There's nothing hard about fixing one of these. Most of the stuff is they're just replacement parts. So most of the stuff is just replacement parts, and you just replace bits to it. Seems like, from what I've read and what I've seen by looking at inside one, that the gearbox is kind of the thing that's the most hard wearing and the thing you're probably likely to replace the least. Trigger mechanism, brushes, if it's a brush motor, those are the things that you're gonna have to replace. And you can replace on them, which is good. They do have like every single part for these you can get spares of. Some of the pieces are ridiculously priced, but some of them aren't too bad. They're okay. Like this, I bought this drill for a tenner. Broken, didn't work, didn't do anything. Pulled the trigger, nothing happened. It's brushless, I believe. I mean, it doesn't say it's brushless, and they usually say brushless on it, but there's no brushes in the back of it. I think it's just the cheaper one from the range, basically. So it's just an all-in-one motor. The brushes are obviously inside it, or I don't think it's brushless, thinking about it, because there's no like stator and like different, certainly not three-phase wires going to a stator in the top. So I'm guessing that it is brushed, but it's in a sealed motor, so you can't get to the brushes to replace them. They're going to do that with the cheaper ones. They just want you to buy another one. It's fair enough, isn't it? You know, isn't it like everything in this world? Just throw it away. Which is why I kind of picked it up, because I don't like throwing stuff away, really. Fucking help it. It's not a great thing to be throwing stuff away. Plus, I wanted a set of Makita drills, and I didn't want to pay like ridiculous prices for them. So I picked up an impact driver for 15 quid, and that just needed a really good clean. Took the gearbox apart, re-greased it, and it was fine. Only it had a screwdriver bit rusted into the end of it, like solid. All I did was just left it overnight with some WD-40. Came in the morning, got a pair of pliers, pulled the screwdriver bit out of it, and it was fine. Cleaned it up, cleaned it inside. It was all good. There's nothing wrong with it. Let's have a look, see what I've done. What have I done? What have you done, you silly sausage? Alright, let's have a look. So, could be that I've knackered the trigger mechanism. That is a possibility. I have no idea, to be honest. Could be that I've burnt this brand new motor that I bought. Burnt it out. Let's take that out of there, which is the directional switch for it. Which comes out in one lump, and then this pops off. Don't lose the springs, otherwise you're going to be unhappy with yourself, and then the gearbox just twists out. So that's the gearbox end with the chuck, with all the gear mechanism stuff inside, which you can take apart. You can just unscrew this, take apart all the layers and stuff, which I did on this. I just took it apart, cleaned out all the old grease and stuff, and I just re-greased it, put it back together. It's fine. Chuck's fine. It's all good. I don't think any of that. There's no electrical stuff in there, so I don't think that's going to be done. I think it's this. I think I've knackered the motor. I think that's what I've done. Let's have a look. Yeah. Well, not yes, I've knackered it, but I was just answering a question inside my head, which I do often. There are brushes in there, but it is a sealed unit, as I was saying. The cheaper option drills are just like that, basically. I'm guessing I've knackered this. No. Doesn't feel bad. Feels okay. It did smell. Yeah, it smells like it smells like I've burnt it out or something. I mean, it is possible that I've melted something inside. I just can't see it, but yeah, I'm not sure on that one. Can't see myself. Let me see if I put it under the microscope. Can I see? It's a weird angle, so I'm probably not going to be able to see into it. But I'm going to have a look. Just because it's got a light on there as well, on the microscope as well, I can probably see it easier. I have to hold it bloody still to be able to see it though, that's for sure. No, I don't think I'm going to see that. Let's have a look. Let's try and focus it. I'm going to show it you in a second. I'm just seeing if it's actually worth me putting on screen, because in fact, let me put it on just so you can see what I'm doing. It's boring you just looking at my arms. This is what I'm trying to do. So you can see the those are the brushes right there. You can see it. See, it's moving, and I don't see any real I don't see any real... Doesn't look like it's like melted or anything drastic. A little bit of dust right on the end of the brush, which is normal from what I've seen. Doesn't look bad at all. I don't see anything wrong with that really. I'm no expert, but if, to be honest, if this thing just isn't turning, then it ain't working, is it? So, them's the facts. But it is turning. It's turning freely. There's no... It's not struggling to turn. Let's have a look at this gearbox. Where's me trusty cocktail stick? Me trusty. If you can see that, but it is turning. So the gears are all fine. I don't expect that's anything to do with it anyway, because it's just gears, it's mechanical, it's all, there's no electronics in there at all, nothing that a reverse polarity battery would actually do to it, I don't think. Trigger mechanism? Have I killed the trigger mechanism? Because I guess this is just a variable, there's some sort of, oh, what would it be? Is it like a varying resistor in it or something? Don't quote me on this stuff. I am not an electronics guy. Do not quote me on this stuff. But I'm guessing that there's like a slide in there, that it's rubbing down something that makes the contact shorter or something like that. Or I don't know. If anyone knows, please tell me. I'd be happy to find out. Don't know, it could be that trigger. After what happened the other day, I have got a good battery, but it's not mine, it's my brother-in-law's, and I'm not going to test it on this. I'm going to wait until the other battery casing comes from China that I've ordered, to have another go at that battery. I'm going to wait till that comes, and once I know that's good, I'm going to plug my battery, even if it's I'll spend time building it, whatever, but I'm only plugging my battery into this, because if it screws the battery, I don't care. At least I haven't wrecked someone else's stuff. I don't like doing that. It's not good. I don't care if I break my stuff, because I'll either replace it or I'll fix it. If you break someone else, yes, I can replace it if I break someone else's stuff, but I just don't like doing it, you know. It's like, you need to wait a few days because I've knackered your drill, or, you know what I mean. It's no good, is it? It's no good. Positive goes on the far side because it's the longer cable, which means this should drop into here somewhere. Let's have a look. Are you there? No, you're not there. Keep spinning it. There is a part where this just drops in. Keep turning it. There it is. Does that seem right? No, it's not right, because that's on the side, which means it's not right. The gear switch needs to be at the top. I believe this is this way. Unless it's not, it's that way. Oh, it's just not going into the gears, is it? Certainly not that way, because that's not at the top. I'm just wasting time trying to get this together. Right, I'm going to figure it out another time. Anyway, doesn't look terrible. Nothing looks burnt out. Nothing's melted. Nothing's... Motor's moving freely. Not sure what to say about that. The ideal is that I just attach 18 volts to this and just see if it'll spin the motor. But my lab bench power supply is only a little tiny thing that I built myself, and it only goes up to 12 volts. So it's probably, I know it's not going to spin this because I've tried to spin it before, and it's not enough power to get it going. So I'm going to leave it, and I'm going to wait till I've built the other battery, and then I'll have a go. Oh, I haven't changed the screen back, have I? What a turnip. You were just sitting on a grey screen for ages and I'm pointing at stuff and looking at stuff. And you're just listening to my voice going, screen's grey, what are you doing? Oh, God, that's why I shouldn't, like, change to, like, other videos and just leave the webcam on. Anyway, yeah. What did I say? All I said was this trigger, yeah. Must be a variable sort of slide switch in here or something. It doesn't feel knackered, it doesn't feel solid or anything, so who knows? I don't know. I'll have a look at it another time. It's just one more thing that I've pulled apart and should really go back together. That's one thing, you should put stuff back together, because otherwise screws will just start to go missing and you can't remember where screws go and things like that. This is pretty basic, but yeah, I've got I'm building a handheld gaming machine from an old Nintendo Wii unit, and that has been in pieces for about 12 months and I definitely cannot remember where the screws go, so that is going to be a problem when I get around to doing it. Yes, let me show you, hang on. My word, this is one of my projects on the list. How long has this been on the list? Yeah, a long time. So I've replaced the screen in it. I've got all the joysticks and stuff, which I've... let me move this. Let me move this and just put it in a pile somewhere so I can stand on it and throw the screws all over the room. Good idea. Well done. Yeah. So, like, oh, sorry. Don't know who I was apologising to there. So, like, I've re-soldered all an extension wire on and stuff for the joysticks and bits and pieces. Audio leads, power cables. What else have I got in there for this unit? I've got an audio amplifier that needs to go in. All the buttons, flat HDMI cable, ribbon that goes in. Inside is these go to, all the controls go to an Arduino, a teensy, and that gets programmed. Oh, it's not in there. What have we done with it? Oh, it's inside the box. That's why. That's where it is. And the teensy, a little Arduino teensy, gets programmed to interpret all of the buttons and then drives it back into the Raspberry Pi, which is the computer I'm using. Drives it back into the Raspberry Pi to convert all the buttons and joystick stuff into messages for the Pi to understand, basically. Yeah. So it gets all the controls back in. See, look, blue tack. Told you, when you're laying stuff out, blue tack all the way. That's the controller for the screen. It goes in. I've like dremeled the hell out of all of this, and cut loads of bits out of it and cleaned it all out, cut the battery compartment out, trying to fit stuff in. That's a blue tacked volume control that I've got to fix in somewhere. This is the layout. This was the Pi that I had in here. Let's take it off there. This is the Raspberry Pi 3B+. I've took all the USBs off, I've took the Ethernet off, I've took all the header for the displays off, I've took the header for the camera off. I've tried to make it as low profile as possible to fit in this case, because with the USBs on, it's like, you know, it's like this tool, which is not going to happen because it won't fit in here like that. Yeah, so I took all that off. I need to reattach cables to the USBs and stuff, but I don't need the USB connectors on here. There's the teensy. See, blue tack doesn't hurt the teensy, just helps keep it in place. There's the Arduino teensy, which will just be the, which will basically have all the, it will have all the connections from the joystick going to it. Joysticks, buttons, D-pad, everything will sit on the teensy, and it just plugs into the Raspberry Pi via USB. and the Raspberry Pi picks it up just as a USB device, basically. And yeah, it's programmed. The Arduino's programmed just to kick out those messages out of the digital outs. So there it is, micro USB on the end. It is pretty small, hence the name teensy. I mean, there's my finger in comparison to it, so you can see it's pretty small, which is good because that's what it needs to be. Spent a long time looking for a board that could handle the ampage of a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. Now, sometimes you don't crank up all the the amps too much on a Raspberry Pi, but you know, there's always a possibility. I can't even remember. It's been that long since I looked at it. I can't even remember. This is one of the things I need to get sorted as well. But yeah, I think it's around. I was aiming for like something. I was trying to get a power board, like for the battery and stuff, with like a charge controller on it. I was trying to get a board that would power the Pi, do the battery control and stuff, and be able to handle the ampage. And I finally found this board from a guy in the US, and it's a cool little board. Yeah, it's a cool little board. I think I can't remember what it handles, but see, there's your battery inputs. There's your 5V, 2V rails, outputs, analog stick. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what that is for. Maybe for 5V input. So that input will come from your power input into the board. Your battery will be off there and charged through the board, and then when you unplug it, the battery runs the power, but while it's plugged in, the plug will actually run the power output, basically, just as it does in a normal handheld. That's the name of it, Retro PSU. And the guys who make it, one of the guys who makes it, makes they make a handheld game unit that goes in one of these, an Altoids mint tin. I have a mint one here. Yeah, they make a handheld game unit that goes in here using a Raspberry Pi, and it's got like controls in it and stuff. It's pretty nifty. It's using a Raspberry Pi W, so it only runs like really well. It'll only run like Nintendo and some Super Nintendo stuff and that, but it's still worth building. It's a nice little project. Just realised probably shouldn't have a mint while I'm trying to talk, should I? Really? Still. Yeah, that's another one of my projects. Hasn't been completed and needs doing. I need to get round to that one, really. It's been a long time since I even looked at that, if I'm honest. And I would like to get it going. I bought all the parts for it. Should get it going, really. Yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to jump on, have a chat, talk. I'm here anyway, so as I said previously, yeah, have a look at a few things I'm doing. I'm waiting for a I'll show you this, because this is probably going to be my next live stream, if it comes in time. I'm waiting for a control board from China, which apparently is in this country, not 10 miles from my house according to the tracking. We'll see. This is an old laptop screen. So there's the screen. It's an LG display. I think it's 1366 by 720, something like that, is it? It's not a 1080 screen anyway. It's a smaller res than that, but it's from a HP laptop that my cousin Mark graciously donated to the cause of me pulling it apart and trying to find a use for it. So he told me I could have it, and I did. I had it, of course. The magpie swooped in, And yeah, so I've bought a controller board for it, an external control board. So my plan is get that external control board, which is 12 volts. I'm going to cut a hole in this somehow. Well, with a Dremel, I'm going to cut a hole in it, not somehow. I'm going to cut a hole in it with a Dremel. I'm going to 3D print an enclosure for the control board and the buttons and stuff to fit into, which screws or glues or whatever fixes onto the back of here once I've cut the hole for it. And then I'm just going to put the screen back together inside this. I'm going to put the screen back in here. I'm going to put the surround back on it. I'm going to fix it all back together as if it was sitting on the laptop, and it's just going to have a box on the back, and you'll be able to run it off a 12 volt battery pack if you want to, or I'll just run it off a 12 volt plug, and I'll just have it as a as a second monitor. Well, I say second monitor, it's going to be a third monitor because I've already got a second monitor. So yeah, that's it. That's it. That's about it. So that's going to be my next thing, I think. I'm going to build that next. Yeah. Like I say, if the board turns up, it says it's in this country, but you never know. Who knows? Could be, couldn't be. Could be anywhere. Could still be in China, for all I know. I'm trying to think, what else have I got planned? Got that battery pack, but I talked about that the other day, a 12 volt battery pack, almost like a power bank. Yeah, I'm going to look at that as well. I'm looking around, there's so much stuff in here that I've got, that I've like planned to do stuff with. I'm sure there's other stuff that I've not talked about, but anyway, it's been like an hour and I've only been pottering, so it's enough. I'm going to go, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to relax. That's about it. I'm going to look at this vape thing tomorrow. And next time on stream, hopefully I'll show you some sort of design that I'm doing and go like, what do you think of this? And you can say it's a load of rubbish or it's alright or whatever. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go. See you later. Take it easy. Bye bye.